do that thing first that you are most unlooking forward to. All right? The thing that you least desire that you need to do that first. Knock that out. Because guess what? Everything else throughout the rest of your day is going to become a lot easier. Because you've proven to yourself that you can do the hard thing. Hey, welcome back. It's Rob here with Chapter 15 of Brian Tracy's The 21 Success Secrets of Self-Made Millionaires. Now, this one is the granddaddy of them all. Chapter 15 is called Practice Self-Discipline in All Things. And this is the most important factor of all if you want to be successful. Brian Tracy says it in the chapter. I say it from my own experience. You may know it already, but it never hurts to revisit this type of stuff, right? And let's talk about some of the ways that we can instill self-discipline in the areas where we might need it, right? Because this is huge. This is the biggest thing of all that's going to be the difference between success and, Brian Tracy likes to use the word failure. I don't. And you know that from my previous recordings and other books that I've done. But success and not success, right? Other results besides success. You can label them failure if you want. It doesn't bother me. I just don't use that word because I see it as a result and it's not the result I want. So let's get a different result. And how do you get a different result? You change your behavior, right? That's all it is. You don't need to make it a whole big thing, this big scary monster of failure. I think that's counterproductive. At least it is in my own life. So, and again, I'm just talking about the things that work for me. I'm talking about the ways that I'm applying the principles of this book and the other books here on this channel. You may feel otherwise, and that's what I want to see in the comments down below, or I want to see agreement, whatever it is that you feel when you are reading, going through this material, studying it, learning it. Drop a comment and let me know. So, let's talk about self-discipline, all right? This is the one big thing. Okay, if there's one big thing of all that you need in order to succeed, it is self-discipline, period. And Brian Tracy defines it as self-mastery, self-control, self-direction, right? These are all things that he says are components of self-discipline. But the essence of it really is that you have to discipline yourself to do what you are supposed to do or what you need to do when you need to do it, whether you feel like it or not, all right? That's the key, okay? And that's hard, right? Self-discipline is hard. If self-discipline was easy, everybody would be a massive success, right? Self-discipline is hard, whether it's in your diet or whether it's your exercise program or whether it's getting up at 5 in the morning so you can attack the day. Whatever it may be, okay, self-discipline is difficult, all right? And again, if it were easy, then everybody would have everything they want. Because this is the big key. If you can discipline yourself, again, to do the things that you need to do when you need to do them, whether you feel like it or not, you virtually guarantee your success. That's what Brian Tracy says in a nutshell in this chapter. So let's talk about this for a little bit in terms of what we're going to do to apply it, right? Because it's one thing to say it, it's one thing to understand it, but how do we apply it? Well, you have to find the things that are hard and necessary and important, which are words that Brian Tracy uses in this chapter as well. And you have to do those things, and you have to repeatedly do those things until you start to get the results that you want. And really, that's the action step. The action step, as far as I'm concerned, is figuring out what it is that you have to do that you don't want to do. The one thing on your to-do list that's the least desirable for you, the worst thing in the world that you could possibly think, man, I really don't want to do this today. Do it first, right? I got that tip from Tim Grover, who wrote the book Relentless and another book called Winning. Those books will probably appear here on this channel at some time. Fantastic books. I love Tim Grover as an author and as a speaker and a coach and a mentor. But he was Michael Jordan's personal trainer and Kobe Bryant's personal trainer and Charles Barkley. If you're a basketball fan, you know all these names. Dwayne Wade, all these guys that were super successful, mega superstars in the NBA. He was the personal trainer for them. And so Tim Grover kind of knows a little bit about winning and success, wouldn't you say? So anyway, what he, was a tip that he gave in one book or the other. I don't remember which, but it doesn't matter. The idea of, and Brian Tracy actually talks about this in a different book, not the Success Secrets book that we're going through here, but Eat That Frog is another Brian Tracy book, which is a phenomenal book. And that one, Eat That Frog is basically that same concept, right? The worst, what would you like not want to eat more than anything basically in the world? Probably a frog would be at the top of a lot of people's list. Maybe there's some other things up there, but a frog would be in the upper echelons of that list, right? And it's a metaphor, of course, but eat that frog. Like, do that thing first that you are most unlooking forward to. All right, the thing that you least desire that you need to do that first. Knock that out, because guess what, everything else throughout the rest of your day is going to become a lot easier, because you've proven to yourself that you can do the hard thing, right? Now the other hard things, and there are other hard things for sure, if you're wanting to achieve success, if you're wanting to be a self-made millionaire, you do a lot of hard things, right? So there's a list. But when you do the hardest one first, the other ones don't seem as hard. And it gets easier, and the whole process gets easier. And I know from personal experience, what happens now for me is I look forward to waking up at 5 in the morning. I look forward to getting my workout in before the sun comes up. I look forward to doing those things that are difficult, because I know that that's what lets me win, right? That's the path to success. That's the winning plan, right? And so that really gets me excited, because I know that I'm doing the right thing, right? And I don't know if that'll happen for everybody. I'm not going to promise that. Brian Tracy doesn't mention it for whatever reason. He does mention that it gets, you get stronger when you make strengthening decisions, basically. He doesn't put it in those terms, but essentially that's the basics of what he's saying. And he talks about that, but he doesn't say, for instance, like in my own personal experience, like it gets a lot easier as you go. It's hard at first. It's really hard. It's really hard to say no to cookies. Cookies for me are like death. Like I can't be around cookies. They're gone. I'm going to inhale them, and then blood sugar and all that good stuff, right? Not good stuff, but you know what I'm saying. So cookies were really hard for me to give up, and I still have a cookie every now and then. But I mean, I used to get a Chips Ahoy box, and I would eat half of them in one sitting. Like, it was bad. And that was hard for me to give up, because I loved cookies, all right? Drinking's another thing I gave up. I don't drink alcohol anymore. And that was really difficult for me, too. And it's difficult to tell people when you go to a Super Bowl party or something that you're not having a drink, right? Because everybody else is, right? So, and bands, I love going to see live bands. Well, a lot of them play in bars, right? So I thought at the very beginning when I quit drinking alcohol, I'm like, man, I'm never going to go see a live band anymore, right? Of course, they do play at festivals and things, and there are other ways to see live music. But now I can go to a bar, I can watch my favorite band and not have a drink, and just drink some club soda, and so it's not easy, but I've gotten there now to where it is easy. And to where those things are easy. So it gets easier as you get stronger, right? So doing the things that are hard and necessary and important, whether you feel like it or not, that is your action step. That was my action step when I read this chapter. This chapter is one that, and I'm not kidding, I'm kind of a bit of a nerd when it comes to audiobooks, not afraid to admit that. And so what I did, I fixated on this chapter in the audiobook, and I played it on repeat. A lot, like a sickening amounts. Like people would be like, "What are you doing?" Like But I wanted it to just get pounded into my head and be ingrained in my person, in my personality, in my heart. This idea of self-discipline, because I didn't have any. And so when this chapter came along, I was like, this is the sauce. This is the stuff, right? This is what I need at the time that I needed it. So when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? Hopefully you're ready. And I don't know if I'm the teacher. I'm just bringing you this information. Brian Tracy's the teacher. But I am bringing it to you in case you've never heard it before, because it's useful. And that's the idea here. So as he points out to end the chapter, everything in life is a test. Every day, every hour, sometimes every minute, you are being tested by life, right? That is the the thing that hardens us and makes us able to do hard things and makes us able to succeed is passing those tests. And every time you pass the test, you level up. And you keep leveling up and you keep leveling up and you keep leveling up by passing the test. And pretty soon your life is spiraling upward and you're reaching your achievements and you're reaching your targets and you're reaching your goals and you're living the life of your dreams, right? So make sure that you are passing the test every day. And the test in this case, we're talking about self-discipline, talking about doing the hard things. Knock them out first, all right? Again, let me know in the comments what you think of this. Share this video with anyone that you know who would benefit from it, because that's the idea here is to share and share success. And again, that's what we do over at the website. I know I mention it in every video, but I need to get you over there if you're not over there yet, because that's where everybody is that's gathering around, that all the achievers, all the like-minded, success-oriented people over at yoursoulsource.com/resources. That's where you can get signed up. The resources are my notes for these books, other people's notes that have shared them and said, yeah, you can share these with everybody, right? Because again, the whole point here is to win together and come together as a community and drive everybody to success. All right, we chase success at Soul Source, and so go over to yoursoulsource.com and check that out, and I will see you next time in chapter 16.
I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.